Aile Strike Gundam. Hey, what's up everybody? Robert184, 2Rs2Bs, Gundam.tk. Thanks for being here because the real grades. Aile Strike Gundam is completed, which means it's time to take a look at the parts before putting it all together. Couple quick notes. I said that the C plate came with 3 colors, but actually you're going to get 2 different kinds of whites there, which when combined with the D plates means you have 3 kinds of white in this kit. All of the pieces are lined, and the brown works really well on the red. And while I didn't put on very many clear decals, I did put on a lot of the shiny bling type. Following the directions, here's what you're going to get in terms of the main body. The weapons and backpack. For extras with this kit, you're going to get 2 extra manipulators and a very tiny figure of Kira Yamato, but again, not one that goes in the cockpit. From the ABS G plate, you're also going to get 1 piece, which is used to attach this kit to the 1/144th action base. Starting with the feet, you may be able to make out the 2 colors of white there, and you've got 3 main sections for the red. So it's going to bend here, which is a little bit interesting, and on the back you've got to be careful because that part can pop off very easily, and it also appears that it can twist a little bit, which means you're going to have to make sure that you get everything lined up just right if you want flat feet for balance. The legs are probably the best part that shows off how much gray is exposed from the inner frame here. And you'll notice that the top of the thigh is permanently split, and when you bend that down it's going to open up even more, and you'll notice that the knee is going to open up there. You're not going to quite get a 180, but nonetheless it's still impressive the amount of details on the inside so that nothing is left looking just like kibble. The way you put everything on and the multicolors of white, the legs are a real winner. As with most real grades, be careful though of these little pieces falling off whenever you're bending them. The waist section's inner frame consists of 2 parts from the B plate, and when you put them all together you may be able to see the different white colors and how well they stand out down here. So this is a different color with a little bit of lining in there, some nice shallow trenches though, a little bit of touch of color there, and then you're going to get the gray which shows through the white parts with the holes there, which is just keeping up with this whole real grade methodology of showing the inner frame whenever they can. Now in here it's a little bit hard, and that's going to pop off once in a while. But inside you may notice that there is an armored Schneider, so you've got the weapons in there, which it's not the easiest thing in the world unless you push down at the bottom, and then you're able to pop out these knives. And a shot again of the back, again with the very shallow lining. Here's a look at the chest with the cockpit open, which is sort of cool that you can do this in 1/144th, but it's not so cool the fact that they don't give you a little figure, whether you want to paint that up Warhammer style or not. Just a note about getting this open, it's going to be a little bit tricky, so using a toothpick or a modeler's knife or something like that, just be careful that you don't gouge everything. It starts by pulling out this blue part and then opening up the red part underneath, and you can see as it folds back in. But otherwise, the main point of this chest is just how impressive everything moves. You may notice here that the red part rotates there, and you've got the white part down here which moves independently. The only thing you've got to be careful, this part wants to fall out down here, but that shouldn't be a problem once you actually attach it onto the waist unit. When you're looking at it from the side, these parts here can pop out every once in a while, so you're going to want to keep them in firmly, and the shoulders are going to pop up, but they're not actually going to move out much more than that. But then again, on something this scale, still very impressive. And the thing that really impressed me was just in the back, the fact that you've got 2 different color red here for the thrusters compared to this part. And again, similar to the Amuro Gundam, you've got 2 different reds there, which in the shadows comes across as looking very cool. Here's the shoulders, and if you like the way that they're lined, you can thank Bandai. It has nothing to do with me. It's a very good mix of having light and deep ones, shallow and deep ones there, which are able to get that offset thing. If you put on the decals, I think it would look even more impressive. But the gray overall dominates, except for those 2 white panels, and this part here is going to open up, although you're not going to be able to do much with it besides that. The arms I like and dislike for the same reasons for the other real grades. First of all, the mobility is really good. You're able to move the shoulder around here. This part might pop off every once in a while, but just that should be solved when you put the shoulder on. Now right here you've got these gold stickers here. I actually put the wrong ones on, so if you make sure you're reading the manual carefully for that, for the left and right elbow, they are different top and bottom. But you'll notice a little bit different here is that they've got some really shiny gold ones here that go up above. Now you could just paint the plastic, and it's actually where it's got little black circles there. Those are just indents that you can choose to line under there. Again, if you cover them up though, it's not going to show. But here you can see the 3 colors, and very impressive here, and again, pretty good channels all over for the lining, and I like the way that the black part shows through here and here. In terms of mobility, you'll notice as I bend the elbow here, that you're going to get almost a 180, and this part here slid up, and I like the fact that they put in this white part here so it doesn't just look like they forgot to put something in. There is some detail on the inside. This black part looks good when it comes up. The only thing being that, again, some of these parts just feel loose, and the shoulders and the forms will separate every once in a while. And here I have the solid manipulators in, but you'll notice that this part at the bottom is not in securely at all. If you take out this fist, this part's going to pop off when you're switching them, so be careful not to lose them. Here's the extra manipulators, and when you see the main one, you'll get the idea that the big difference is just that cut there, which allows the ankle to swivel here 180 degrees. You're going to get the 3-finger trigger split, which works except for the fact that you've got a little bit of a gap there that you can see in the background, which looks a little awkward, but I don't think many poses are going to do that. Good deep channels which are going to allow these beam sabers to attach in there well, and again, this amount of detail on such small fingers is great, but just remember, if you lose the fingers, you have to order the whole B-plate to replace them, so please be careful. The real grades continue to show off their quality with the head. One of the things that I like about them the most is just the fact that you can choose the eyes to put on. I went with the black set that comes with the shiny gold already attached, but you can put on this black part over the translucent part, which you could paint however you choose underneath, or just put on the shiny eyes on some black. I just went with whatever's easiest. But first of all, you're going to get the multicolors in the white down here, up there, and on the sides, which look sharp. 2 shiny little silver parts there for no particular reason. The inner frame is going to have some weapons in here for the Vulcans, and when you put on these white parts, it actually puts in that, whatever you want to call it, that insert there in the middle, so that's a nice touch. It's not too many multiple parts. But something I was a little disappointed in is this face mask. It has good channels for lining there on the side, but you're going to want to put, it's on a red part underneath, and you're going to want to cover that up with a little bit of black ink so that when you can see through those cuts, that it's going to be black underneath. Now up top, the camera is looking good and it's clear and it goes all the way through to the back if you wanted to use it as light piping. I haven't painted that yet, I probably will later. And then you're just going to put on the white part. The yellow part actually forms the basis of the whole inner part of the head, which is a bit surprising. And the red jewel looks good, but no writing, unlike what you can see back there on the cover of the box or the manual. But the way they show off the inner frame, the way that the use of light piping, the way everything's covered up, and just the overall size, shape, and proportions, another winner. I'm going to wrap up my look at the body there. So far the things that stand out to me is just how many moving parts there are in the thighs, in the arms themselves, the opening cockpit, but the other thing that I really like is just how much of this frame sticks through. It's very strike-ish. And the thing that struck me the most about this is just the proportions of everything. But again, we're not going to know until we put it all together how well it holds up as a kit. So let me know what you think of the body so far. There's a lot of decals I could have put on to jazz it up even more. Anyway, Robert184, Gundam.tk, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think with a comment down below. Stay tuned for the next part. Thanks for watching, everybody. You can play along by playing the G Gundam bumper music in your head.